Good evening, everyone. Good evening and welcome to this session. I hope all of you are doing well. Just confirm me once if I am properly audible and visible. Jai Hind. Good evening. So, yes, uh, I welcome you all to this session. Good evening and Jai Hind. Now, so we have got this in the last session. I think we have met on perhaps Tuesday. So then we have discussed some of the dimensions, some of the things with respect to current affairs. And today again, we are going to discuss some of the topics with respect to it. So let's see that what are those topics. If you see in today's newspaper, you might have found one thing. You might have seen one thing that we have got a news about global voyage, a global voyage of some of the lieutenant commanders of Navy. Two women have started this global voyage. So we are going to first see about them, what is the name of the vessel and all other things. So that is going to be our first topic which we are going to discuss. The second thing which we are going to discuss is about AFSPA in Manipur. Now this is one thing which has been in development in this week. So we are going to talk about this AFSPA which has been extended not just in Manipur but in other states also. So we are going to see that what is AFSPA, what are the provisions of it, and at the same time we will try to understand that if with respect to this AFSPA, we will also try to understand that where it has been implemented, what is the purpose of this, and we will also try to shed some lights on its challenges as well. So that is the second dimension which we are going to discuss. The third thing is having private participation in nuclear power. Now this is not today's article. It was there on the news on 1st of October. But this is a very important article. Previously also, we have discussed about nuclear power. Previously also, we have discussed about nuclear power. And I have told you that this time, nuclear power is going to be a very important topic. Then, we are also going to discuss about the one such issue, La Nina and pollution. Okay. La Nina and pollution. So that is also something which we are going to discuss. Studio change, yes, change for some time, then I will be back in the studio. Okay, so yes, it is changed for some time. Now see, if we talk about the first topic, let's see some questions with respect to it, and then we will come to the topic. The question is, if reasonable suspicion exists, the army can also arrest a person without a warrant. So there is a consider the following statement with respect to AFSPA. The first statement is, if reasonable suspicion exists, the army can also arrest a person without a warrant. Second statement says that a disturbed area can be declared only by the union government as per AFSPA. Third is, armed forces have the authority to prohibit gathering of 5 or more persons in an area under AFSPA. So how many statements given above are correct? So this is one question. You can see the three statements. One is about the power of the army, that if reasonable suspicion exists, the army can also arrest a person without a warrant. Second thing is, AFSPA, a disturbed area can be declared only by the union government as per AFSPA. And third is, armed forces have the authority to prohibit a gathering of 5 or more persons in an area under AFSPA. So what would be the answer here? Can you tell me? Okay, two answers. One is C. Okay, three answers on B. Anyone else? B option. So I think most of you are having this option B as the answer. Anyone else? Doubt in second point. That's why the statement is there. That's why we have the second statement. See, if we look at the first statement, I think all of you know that yes, if reasonable suspicion exists, the army can arrest. So that is first part, that is true. Third part is also true, that they can prohibit the gathering of 5 or more persons in an area. Second part is also true. Now, this second statement, it is saying that a disturbed area can be declared only by the union government as per AFSPA. No, even the state governments can also have their own on rules with respect to AFSPA, and they can also declare some area as this disturbed area under the AFSPA. Like Assam has done it, various other states have also done it. So yes, they can also extend the provisions of AFSPA in their states. So that is also allowed. So this B option will be true. Only 2 of them are correct. Second statement is incorrect. 1 and 3 are correct. Coming to the next topic, next question. I think we have discussed this topic in the last class. So there is the question, dark matter are detected using electromagnetic waves. Second is saying the dark matters have been identified as charged particles. So there are 2 statements. First is saying dark matter are detected using electromagnetic waves. Second is saying the dark matters have been identified as charged particles. So what will be the answer here? What will be the answer here? In this question, see the statements carefully and tell me what would be your answer. First is saying dark matters are detected using electromagnetic waves. Second is saying dark matters have been identified as charged particles. So question number 2, I have got one answer at C, 2 answers at C. Other people? Okay, I think most of you are going with option C. One is Virendra is going with option A. Okay. Now even for all of you, this question I want the answer. C option is there, A is also there. The answer here is B. Both are incorrect. Okay, so there is a mistake in the question itself. Okay, both are incorrect. Here the answer will be additional option, E option. Both are incorrect. See, neither this dark matter can be detected using the electromagnetic waves. We have not been able to detect it so far. We just know that it exists, but there is no detection of it. So this first statement is entirely incorrect. Second thing is, since we have not been able to detect it, there is no such question that we would be able to identify it as a charged particle or else. Okay. So this second option is also incorrect. Answer here will be E option. Both are incorrect. Okay. So yes, there was a like a problem in this question itself. These have to be changed, but it was not there. Okay. So no problem. There are questions like this. You can skip that also. Okay. Now see, coming to question number 3. How many of the following countries share a border with Lebanon? How many of the countries are sharing the border with Lebanon? So option is Syria, Israel, Jordan and Egypt. Syria, Israel, Jordan and Egypt. How many of them are sharing border with Lebanon? Happy Navratri to all of you. Yes, Happy Navratri to all of you. Okay, you thought no answer, but fine, fine. How many of them are sharing border with Lebanon? Option is only 1, only 2, only 3 and all 4. Now in this question you can give answer easily. I am getting answer as 3, and like only one also. B option also. Plasma. Where is this plasma coming from? See, if you look at Lebanon, just look at this bordering countries of Lebanon. You will find here, this is the border of Jordan. This is where you will get confused. This is the border of Jordan. This is an area, Golan Heights. Remember this area. Remember this area. Here we have the Jordan. Here we have the boundary of Jordan. This is the area. This is the area which is called as Golan Heights. Golan Heights. Now this area is occupied by Israel. It belongs to Syria, but it has been occupied by Israel. So if you look at this entire area here also you have Syria. This entire border which you have, it is with Syria. It is with Syria. And this small portion which we are talking about here, this side, here you have Israel here. Israel. Okay. So Lebanon is sharing border with Syria and Israel. Okay. So that is one of the aspect of this question, that how many countries are sharing border with Lebanon. You might have seen Lebanon has been heavily bombarded. Okay. Even in Iran and Israel, there is now a sort of conflict going on. Iran has attacked on Israel, and maybe there can be retaliation from Israel also. So this entire area, West Asia, is now in a troubled stage. It has huge repercussions. It has huge repercussions, not only for just this area, but for the entire world, because energy security is going through this entire Western Asia countries. The Suez Canal is also here, so it is going to become a troubled area. Okay. If it is not resolved, it will have impact on everyone. Okay. So this is these are some of the questions. Now let us see, there is one thing, just from the prelims angle we are seeing it, and then we will come to other topic. Okay. So there is this one topic, 2 women Navy officers begin voyage around the world. So 2 Navy personnels have started this voyage, and they are going to cover around 23,000 nautical miles. 23,000 nautical miles, that is the distance they are going to cover. 23,000 nautical miles. Okay. So it is roughly equal to 45,000 kilometer. Roughly equal to 45,000 kilometer. That is, like, if you multiply it by like almost 1.8, you get the figure. It is roughly equal to 40 to 45,000 kilometer. Okay. So this 23 nautical miles, that is the distance which they are going to cover. They are going to take 240 days in order to cover this distance. Okay. So from like you can see, their name are Tilna K and Rupa. Okay. Rupa A. So these 2 officers have started a voyage around the world. They have started going around the world, 23,000 nautical miles. What vessels they are having? Voyage means journey. Voyage means journey. Yatra. Okay. So voyage means journey. When you take a journey, like, that is called as voyage. Okay. So they have started a journey of the oceans around the world. They are going to cover 23,000 nautical miles. They are going to cover 23,000 nautical miles. Here the thing is, like, if you see, there can be a question that what vessels they are having. The vessel's name is INSV Tarini. Okay. So they are taking this INSV Tarini. Okay. Indian naval ship vessel Tarini. Indian naval ship vessel Tarini, that is the vessel which they are taking to go on a journey around the world. They are going to cover this in 240 days. Okay. So this is one of the basic information about it. Yes, this is the one of the basic information about it. Otherwise, there is nothing needed to go into the deeper part of it. Okay. So we have this one program also. Okay. We have this like, there is a Navika Sagar Parikrama. There is a scheme, Navika Sagar Parikrama. So this is the second voyage. Okay. Parikrama. So this is a Sagar Parikrama, means oceans, like going around the oceans, making this entire journey around the ocean, that is Sagar Parikrama. So this Sagar Parikrama is now going to be done second time by the officers of Indian Navy. Okay. Two names are there, Dilna K and Rupa A. They are going through this INSV Tarini. That is the only thing which is required from your examination perspective. That if they ask you name, although very little chance is there, but if they ask you the name, you can mention it. Yeah. Or you can simply remember it. So that is our first topic, INSV Tarini and naval journey. Now, coming to the second thing, AFSPA, Armed Forces. If we talk about AFSPA, it is basically Armed Forces Special Power Act. Armed Forces Special Power Act. So that is one of the main topic which we are going to discuss. Yeah. What is this AFSPA? What provisions are there? All these things we are going to discuss. See, there is one thing called as disturbed areas. Yeah. There is one thing called as disturbed areas. Now, what we have seen, Article 32 is different thing. Article 32 is for right to constitutional remedies. Yeah. AFSPA is not martial rule. Do understand one thing. Even if you are trying to connect with the articles of later, you will find that it is not a martial rule. AFSPA is entirely different thing. It is not a martial rule. It is just to control the public order. So AFSPA is something which is like giving this power to maintain public order, in disturbed areas. Okay. So remember one thing, it has one single motive. There is no control of army over the area. It's not like that the government and everything is going to be controlled by the army. No. It is entirely in the hands of elected government. But what here means that they will be trying to ensure the public order in the disturbed areas. That is the only ambit of AFSPA. At the same time, what they have, they can prohibit a gathering of 5 or more persons in an area. If an area has been declared disturbed, so they can now prohibit the gathering of 5 or more people in that area. So that is one simple part of it. Second thing is, they can use force or even open fire after giving due warning. Okay. So if any person is doing something against the law, or if any person is doing something against the direction of the armed forces, they can give warning. And after that, if the person is not adhering to it, if the person is not obeying it, they can also even open fire. So that is one part of AFSPA, that armed forces can go for open firing also. Third thing is, if there is a reasonable suspicion, they can also arrest a person without a warrant. Now, you normally see that people are getting arrested with a warrant. But in case of the areas where you have this, where it has been declared that it is disturbed area and AFSPA is applicable, what you will find that in that area, without even a warrant, army can arrest some people. Okay. So that is also one part. They can also enter or search the premises without a warrant, and even can ban the possession of firearms. So these are some of the things which can be done if AFSPA is implemented in certain areas. That army is going to control the public order of that. Do understand this, that the area is not under the control of army. Army is just there to ensure the public order. Not that the entire area is going to be ruled by army. No. It is public order is maintained by army. And how maintaining? Suppose that they can, if they think that there is a chance of any such riots or any such disturbance, they can prohibit the gathering of 5 or more people. Second thing is, they can give warning, and if even after that, if people are not adhering to it, they can also open fire. Third thing is, they can arrest a person without a warrant if there is suspicion. If there is considerable suspicion, they can arrest without a warrant. Fourth thing, they can also search the premises and can even ban the possession of firearms. So that 4 things what we see that what can be done in AFSPA. Then what actually is disturbed area? It is an area which is declared by notification under section 3 of AFSPA. Okay. So this is one part, that under the section 3, the government can declare an area as AFSPA. Now do understand here one thing. that if we are talking about AFSPA, there is no such requirement that it has to be applied in the whole state. It can be applied in whole state, or it can also be applied in certain areas. In certain areas. Okay. So do understand one thing, that suppose if we are saying that AFSPA is applicable in Arunachal Pradesh, it doesn't mean that AFSPA is applicable in all the districts of Arunachal Pradesh. AFSPA, either it can be implemented in whole of a state, or it can be implemented in certain districts of Arunachal Pradesh. So it can be declared in a whole state or certain areas. That is also done. Then who can declare it? The central government or governor of a state or administrator of UT can declare the whole or part of the state or UT as a disturbed area. So it means governor, lieutenant governor, or the union government, they can declare certain area as disturbed areas. So this is one part which you have to understand, who can declare it. So we have seen a question in the beginning that who can declare it. So now we can get from here that yes, who can declare it? Even the governor or the LG, they can also declare it. Now, coming to the next part, like there is one part, there is one section 3 of AFSPA. So what is the contention here now? The contention is section 3 of the AFSPA gives huge power to the union government. We have seen that state government do have the power to declare area as disturbed areas. But we see that union government is super powerful in this case. They can declare an area as a disturbed area even without the consent of the states. So consent of the state is not required in this case. They can declare an area as a disturbed area even without the consent of the state. So see here, that is also one part of it. Then there is a section 7 of the AFSPA. So section 7 of the AFSPA, it is providing immunity to the security forces. Like if any act is done by them under the disturbed areas, under provisions of AFSPA, they are getting a blanket immunity for their acts. Suppose if there is any such act which is also punishable in nature, or for which actions can be taken against them, so there is a condition which has to be met. The condition is any inquiry or any such case against them can happen only after this approval from the executive. Executive here means government. So if they have taken any action under the powers given to the security forces under AFSPA, so now there is a immunity for them. Even if there is any act for which actions or proceedings are going to be started against them, then first of all it has to be approved by the government. Okay. So only if the government agrees, then only proceedings can be started against members of security forces under AFSPA. Okay. So that is also one very important significant part of it. Okay. Where we have this AFSPA applicable right now, you can see that it is applicable in Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Nagaland, Assam, Jammu and Kashmir. Right now you'll find that in these states, not entirely, like in Arunachal Pradesh, some districts, in Manipur, certain areas, in Nagaland also certain areas, in Assam also 3-4 districts, in Jammu and Kashmir, entire state. Okay. So in certain portions, we have the application of AFSPA. Right now we see that normally in 5 states, we have this AFSPA which is applicable. In Meghalaya also it was earlier there, but now it has been withdrawn. Now, what is the challenge or criticism with respect to it? Can you tell me what is the challenge with respect to it? What is the challenge with respect to AFSPA? Anyone? Can you tell me what is the challenge with respect to AFSPA? Violation of human rights. Okay. Human rights, misuse of power. Okay. Misuse of power can be there, violation of human rights can be there. Anything else? See, in 2013, a committee was formed oversee, especially to oversee the conduct of armed forces. So there was encounter of 7 people by armed forces in certain part, and a committee was made for this purpose. A committee was made for this purpose, that whether these encounters were correct or not. This committee was appointed by the judiciary, by the Supreme Court, and it reported that out of the seven encounters, 6 encounters seems to be fake. Okay. It was said that out of the 7 encounters which was done by security forces in certain parts of the country, 6 encounters were fake, and that has put a credible, like, that is something which is a huge, what can I say, proven claim or huge allegation against the AFSPA, that AFSPA is resulting in killing of people in not a proper manner, or it is violation of rights of the people. Article 21 directly. Okay. So yes, there is one thing, misuse of power is quite prevalent, or misuse of power may happen. Misuse of power may happen. So that is one of the challenge with respect to AFSPA. Second thing is what we also see, that human right violation, human rights violation, human rights violation. Third thing, what we see, that it is curtailing at multiple instances, it is curtailing the freedom of expression of people, curtailing the freedom of expression of people, curtailing the freedom of expression, freedom of expression. Then at the same time, what we also see, that it creates a sense of enmity among the people against the state or against the security forces. Okay. It leads to creation of or generation of a feeling of enmity against state and forces. So suppose that, like, take this one case for example. If you look at this, suppose you are living in any district of the country, and continuously there is a sort of curfew or a sort of uh, movement of security forces continuously for some time, then maybe after some time the people might get frustrated. If they are being regularly inspected, if they are being regularly checked at multiple points. Okay. Like suppose that you might have seen, even if you are asked to stop at the red lights multiple times, or even if you are checked at red lights or by police at multiple times during elections or other things, you might get annoyed after some time, that once you have checked, why are you checking multiple times? So think about this, those people who are living in the areas where AFSPA is applicable, they might also have the same sense of frustration or enmity against the state or armed forces. It may develop, this is a feeling which may develop. Okay. A feeling can be developed in the mind of those people, that we are being continuously monitored or guarded by the security forces. Okay. Those who have been given immense power, immunity, so that is naturally leading to generation or development of a feeling of enmity among the people against the state. Also, state here means government, or the entire, like, everything, the state government, union government, or bureaucracy, entirely thing. So that is something which is with respect to challenge with respect to AFSPA. Now, what is the solution for this? Like, do we need to continue this or not? Do we need AFSPA? Now suppose that, do we need AFSPA? If this is the question, do we need AFSPA? So what should be your answer here? If the question is this, do we need AFSPA, or should AFSPA be implemented in India in certain areas or not? So what would be your answer? What would be your answer? This is a little bit analytical. So can you answer me? Should AFSPA be implemented, or should AFSPA remain in certain areas of India or not? Why we maximum use in northeastern states? Why not in Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand? See, the simple thing is, in northeastern states, since we are sharing borders, there is higher chances of entry of the rebel groups from across the border. We are sharing international borders over there. But in case of Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand, we are using the paramilitary forces, because it is not that much supplied from outside the borders of India. It is within the border of India. So that's why the paramilitary force is there. And in case of areas sharing border, we are using this armed forces. Yes, but with some reforms. Okay. So you can say here that national security comes first. Don't hesitate to say this. National security comes first. Okay. National security comes first. So wherever it is required, it will be applicable. Wherever it is required, it will be applicable. So first and foremost thing is, national security is the first and foremost thing. So wherever it is genuinely required, it would be applicable. National security comes first. Okay. So that is going to be applicable wherever it is required. Second thing is, yes, it can be applied, but as you are saying, that some reform monitoring can be there. Reforms in act and monitoring of activities is what is required. Monitoring of activities is what is required. Third thing is training of personnels. To handle conflict situations. So suppose that, of course, the armed forces have full information, or armed forces have full capacity to take charge of any such area. They have full, they have been given power to take charge of any such area. They can control that area. That is provided. That is their capacity also. But at the same time, we also have to consider that many of them, if not all of them, many of them are citizens of India also. Like if we talk about the areas in Kashmir, or if we talk about even areas in northeastern states, we have seen that multiple times the terrorists are coming from outside the state also, or outside the country also. So in that case, of course, we will safeguard the public order first. We will ensure the safety of civilians first, and then we will think about what to do with terrorists. Okay. But suppose if there is a conflict situation involving the citizens of India, so there must be training of the personnels to handle those situations as well. Okay. So this is not a simple yes or no answer. This is not simply in white and black. There is this gray area also, that yes, we need AFSPA, but we need some reforms in it so that it is not harming the people. The next important thing is confidence building measures. Confidence building measures for local population. That you have to maintain confidence with the local people so that they can be frank with the armed forces. They can become part of them. They can become helpful towards them. See, ultimately, at the end of the day, you will find that people will love peace and security. So armed forces can provide that. AFSPA is not something which we have to apply throughout the time, or throughout the year, throughout the entire history of that state or any such area. AFSPA is something which has been provided for a specific time to control peace and public order. Okay. So it should not be on an indefinite mode. That's why now you will find that the government is extending the AFSPA for a period of 6 months. It cannot be indefinite. It is generally extended for a period of 6 months now. So if situation becomes better, AFSPA is withdrawn. If situation becomes worse, AFSPA is again made applicable. So that is the simple logic. AFSPA cannot be there in any democratic state forever. Okay. It cannot be there in any democratic state forever. It has to be used when necessary, and that too in a simple manner, that too in such a manner that people are not harmed because of it, but people's safety is ensured because of it. So that is about AFSPA. I hope it is clear. I hope it is clear about AFSPA. When it is applicable, what are the challenges? Yeah, that is the power given to them. Okay. Now, coming to the next part, there was one article about private participation in nuclear energy. There is another thing, that is private participation in nuclear energy. You might have seen this year we have got a number of articles, a number of discussion with respect to nuclear energy. First of all, what we have seen, Bharat modular reactors. Can you tell me what are Bharat modular reactors? We have discussed it earlier also. Can you tell me what are Bharat modular reactors? What are Bharat modular reactors? Can you tell me this? What are Bharat modular reactors? Anyone? What are Bharat modular reactors? Tell me fast. You all have read this. You all have studied this this topic, Bharat modular reactors. No revision. See, if we talk about Bharat modular reactors, they are basically a small modular reactors. Small modular reactors means they are nuclear reactors. They are basically our nuclear reactors with capacity up to nuclear reactor with capacity up to 300 megawatt. Okay. So they are a series, yes, basically new nuclear plants, but smaller ones. They are smaller nuclear plants. They are not the larger nuclear plants. You can see the name is small modular reactor. So Bharat modular reactor is nothing but simply a small modular reactor. This is one important part which you have to consider here, that it is a small modular reactor. Okay. It is a small modular reactor. Small means its size is low. Its size is less. How much less? It is having the capacity only up to 300 megawatt. Okay. Second thing, it is in a modular form. Modular means it is prepared or it is like manufactured elsewhere and it can be assembled at some place. You might have seen, you might have heard about the name modular kitchens or modular living rooms or other things. So it is a modular reactor, means its modules are created elsewhere, it is manufactured elsewhere, and then it is assembled at some point. So we have got this Bharat modular reactors. Government is planning to promote this. So now there is an article which is proposing about that should there be private sector participation in nuclear reactors or not. Government has already made its intent clear that in case of Bharat modular reactors, we are going to have some private participation also. If not in the operation, at least in assembly, at least in its manufacturing, at least as a provider. Okay. So what it has been said, Government of India, it has made announcement that India will be expanding its nuclear energy sector and there will be participation with the private sector for research and developing Bharat small reactors or Bharat modular reactors. Bharat small modular reactors. So India has made a plan that we are going to have this participation. We are going to have this participation with the private sector for the nuclear reactors now. For a very long period of time, what we have seen, atomic energy or nuclear power in India, it has been dominated, or you can say that there is a monopoly of government, or government is single-handedly controlling this sector. But now government is thinking about reform in this. Government is now thinking that we are going to have participation of private sector also. So that is why we are talking about it. Yep. Now see, there is a legislative framework with respect to it. We have an act, the Atomic Energy Act of 1962. So this Atomic Energy Act, it is empowering only the central government, not even the state government. See this, it is empowering only the central government to produce, develop, use and dispose atomic energy. So in case of atomic energy in India, it is solely in the control of union government, not even state government. Okay. So now if we are going for this Bharat small modular reactors or Bharat small reactors, there might be a change in this legislative framework. So you might expect a question regarding this, that atomic energy in India is controlled by whom? So atomic energy, till now there has been no such amendment. So till now, as of today, 3rd of October 2024. So as of now, according to this Atomic Energy Act 1962, Section 3, the development or production or use and dispose of atomic energy, this can be done only and only by the union government, by the central government. So this is the legislative framework. Next thing is, like, why there is an increased focus on nuclear energy. We have seen that a huge talk is going on that we have to go for nuclear energy, we have to go for nuclear energy. Can you tell me why? Why there is a sudden focus on nuclear energy? Why there is a sudden focus on nuclear energy? Can you tell me this? I think you can tell about this one. Why there is a focus on nuclear energy? So this is going to be one important topic for the mains next year. So can you tell me why we are having this increased focus on nuclear energy? Why this increased focus? Because of COP agreement, due to climate change, okay? What else? See, if you have to write it, first you can see that Indian economy growing. You can mention that Indian economy is growing. Indian economy growing. So more demand of energy. More demand of energy. So that is one of the reason. That is one of the major reason that Indian economy is growing. There is a demand of more amount of energy. Second thing is nuclear power. Nuclear power is a reliable power. A reliable power as compared to solar or wind. As compared to solar or wind. Okay. Then if you see this, in the case of nuclear power plants, what we also see that it is also cheaper as compared to other sources. Cheaper as compared to other power sources. So that is also one of the factor. Then we also see that there is no greenhouse gas emission. No greenhouse gas emission. No greenhouse gas emission. So better than thermal. Better than thermal power plant. Better than thermal power plant. Okay. So we can see that Indian economy is growing. There is a more demand of energy. Second thing, we can see that nuclear power is a reliable power as compared to solar or wind. Third is cheaper as compared to other sources and no such greenhouse gas emission also. So that is one part. Then we have the climate obligations. We have the climate obligations also. What is our climate obligations? We have to get 500 gigawatt of energy, 500 gigawatt of energy from non-fossil sources. From non-fossil sources. So we have a climate obligations also. We have to adhere to net zero emission by 2070. So that is also part of it. Our NDC with respect to Paris Treaty. So if we look at all this, then you can see our climate obligation is also there. This side we can see Indian economy is growing, so more demand, we need to diversify as well. So these all factors are there. That's why there is a increased focus on nuclear energy. Okay. Then if we talk about this, what are the challenges? What are the challenges with respect to this? One of the major challenges, safety concern. Okay. Like we have seen the accidents, for example, Chernobyl disaster, Fukushima. So we have seen in the past that there have been disasters with respect to nuclear power plant. So that is also one of the challenge. The next important thing is India doesn't have nuclear material. So dependence on other countries, for raw material, and that raw material is enriched uranium. So this is also one of the part. Dependence on other countries means we will have to import it. Yes, correct, Harshit, that we will have to import it from outside. So dependence issue is also there. With respect to this nuclear power plant. Third important part is the acceptance among people. Due to safety concerns. Take an example. If you want to establish a solar power plant in certain areas, people will be happy. People will be also praising that we are getting intense amount of now solar energy here. We have got a huge solar farm in this area. Solar energy is being harnessed here. But if the same area is there and people are given this option of nuclear energy, they will be having this fear in their mind. That maybe if there is a disaster, if there is a tragedy, what will happen to the people who are living there? Okay. So this disaster, this fear will always remain. You cannot contain this. This fear is going to be there in mind of people. Whenever we are planning some nuclear power plants, or whenever we are planning any such nuclear research or other things, it is widely being opposed by a huge amount of people. So that is also a challenge. People will be not ready for this. So that is also one of the challenge, acceptance among the people. Then another part is disposal of nuclear waste. it can become a source of, can become source of contamination. Contamination. Okay. What we are seeing that there is already contamination of underground water in India. There is already contamination of groundwater in India with uranium in multiple parts involving Rajasthan, involving portions of Punjab, Haryana, portions of Karnataka also, and other parts also. There is already uranium contamination in groundwater. So if we are going for more modular reactors or other things, the disposal of nuclear waste can also become a challenge for us. So these are some of the challenges with respect to this nuclear power plant. Okay. Yes, it can also impact the marine life. It can have impact on anywhere where it is being disposed of. Okay. So that is the challenge with respect to nuclear power. Now, there is another part, civil nuclear liability in India. Okay. There is another challenge of it. So in India, we have this civil liability for nuclear damage. It establishes the liability and compensation. Okay. So under this, there is again challenge. It says that the maximum liability is of 300 million. Okay. 300 million SDR means roughly according to dollar. Okay. So roughly it is according to dollar or SDR. So 300 million SDR. Okay. That is what can be given in case of any such tragedy. Now suppose that if more number of people are impacted due to it, then it becomes a challenge. If government is trying to increase it, the operators may say that we are not agreeing. And if government is not agreeing, or if the government is not increasing this liability, then what is going to happen? People will not be happy. Yeah. So liability is also very much limited. Liability is also very much on lesser side. That is also a concern with respect to nuclear power plants in India. If in case of disaster also, liability, fixing liability is also a challenge. We have seen in case of Bhopal gas tragedy as well. And at the same time, even if it is proved, it is very meager amount in case of nuclear disaster. So that is also a challenge for nuclear power plant in India. Now, coming to the next part, the next thing is we are going to talk about one more topic, and that is with respect to La Nina and pollution. So there was an article in the Hindu on 1st of October, of course. It was not today. It was on 1st of October. And the article was talking about how the La Nina can... Is there any new currency added in SDR? I think last time it was renminbi of China. If there is something new, we can check. I'm not sure about it. Okay. I'm not so sure. If there is anything else, I will tell you tomorrow. But I think the last it was added was the Chinese currency, renminbi or something. Okay. So see, now there are two conditions, El Nino and La Nina. I think majority of you know that if we are talking about if we are talking about La Nina, it is a normal condition where there is accumulation of warm water. In the case of La Nina, there is accumulation of warm water at this coast of Australia. And you all know that La Nina is something which is good for Indian monsoon. When you have La Nina condition, it is considered good for Indian monsoon. So now what is the news all about? Okay. See, the news was like right now, La Nina or its strength or weakness is also related with our pollution. Also related with pollution. So now suppose that when you are writing that why there is more air pollution or why there is more chances of pollution in India or Delhi, so you can add a few more points. And that point is basically related to La Nina and retreat of monsoon also. So see, what is the point here? There has been late retreat of monsoon this time. Okay. Like you can see that officially on 30th September or 1st October, it was announced that now the monsoon is officially over. So it has been said that there has been late retreat of monsoon from India. It has covered almost the entire September month at various places. So there has been a late retreat of monsoon this year. Okay. Now, so what is going to happen is Due to late retreat of monsoon, there has been extended period of high humidity and calm winds. Okay. There is a high, the humid winds have been there for long period of time and calm winds have been there. At the same time, we have seen anticyclonic conditions over India, means cyclones are not forming. But that by the time of September or by the end of September, there used to be cyclonic activities in India. But till now, since there has not been retreat of monsoon, cyclone season has not started. Yeah. So see, so anticyclonic conditions are there plus extended periods of high humidity and calm winds. So it has led to reduced atmospheric mixing and less dispersion of pollutants. When there is a cyclonic condition, then the pollutants will be in that swirling motion. They will be disposed of or they will be like dispersed of in multiple areas. But over India, what we have seen, there is late retreat of monsoon, high humid winds and calm winds plus anticyclonic condition. So the wind has remained trapped for a longer period of time. It has not been dispersed off. Cyclone conditions are not forming. So this is also leading to pollution over parts of India. So see, now we have got a new dimension in pollution. That if you have late retreat of monsoon, you have anticyclonic condition for a longer period, or you have calm winds, that can also add to the pollution. That is also one point which you can add. Okay. Now see, in case of La Nina, what we see that if there is a stronger winds and more atmospheric mixing. Okay. Suppose if La Nina is very much strong, if La Nina is strong, then there is going to be stronger winds and more atmospheric mixing. But if La Nina is delayed or weaker, if La Nina is delayed or weaker, there is going to be less atmospheric mixing, there is going to be lesser mixing of the air, and when there is lesser mixing of air, it can cause pollution for a longer period of time. So on one hand, what we are saying, late retreat of monsoon and anticyclonic condition, they can help in adding or containing the pollution within India for a longer period of time. If La Nina is there, if it is strong, then there is a strong winds and more atmospheric mixing. But if it is not there, if it is weaker or if it is delayed, then pollution is going to persist for a longer period of time. So in that article, it was being talked that maybe this time the La Nina may be delayed. And if La Nina is delayed, then what is going to happen that over areas of Delhi and other places, pollution may remain for a longer period of time after Diwali. We are going to have Diwali in 1 month, means at the time of November, at the beginning of November, pollution level is going to spike in India. But during this time, La Nina is not going to be present. La Nina is expected to come by end of December, perhaps. Okay. By mid of December or end of December. So it is estimated that La Nina is delayed a little bit. Now, if La Nina is delayed, it means less strong winds. And when there is less strong winds, more pollution can happen. You can see the entire global atmospheric pattern is related with each other. The pollution and all other activities, now they are impacted not just by what is happening over the place, but also with respect to other conditions. Is that clear how they are going to impact the pollution? In the next class, I will ask questions about El Nino and La Nina. So do read about them. Tomorrow we will have some questions about that. So see, this topic itself is not a bigger topic, but you can use this topic to enhance your answer in the pollution related question. If you are facing a question with respect to pollution, if you are getting a question why there is more pollution in Delhi or other regions, or why there is higher pollution in Indian cities, you can mention sometimes it is influenced even by the La Nina conditions, late retreat of monsoon, or even anticyclonic conditions. So this is what you can add as a point in your answer. Yeah. So thank you so much. All the best. And tomorrow we will meet again to discuss the current affairs. Thank you. Happy Navratri to all of you and take care. Thank you.